Hello everyone, so we're going to jump right into today's project. I found this blessed placemat at the Dollar Tree, and what we're going to be making is a sign. So the first thing that I'm going to do is actually go ahead and trim down my sign a bit, because the frame that I'm going to be putting around it is not going to quite fit. So what I'm doing is trimming off the excess on the sides, and that will also give us a 90-degree angle instead of those rounded corners. When I saw this placemat, I knew I just had to get it because during all this that's going on with the COVID-19 and so much going on in the world, I know that I'm truly blessed, and I'm sure that a lot of you feel that you are blessed as well. So now we're going to move on with our frame. These are the painter's sticks from Home Depot. You can get these 3 in a pack for 98 cents. They're really inexpensive and they are real wood. So what I'm doing here is I am measuring where I need to cut these at. Now when you are making your sign, feel free to do however large you need it to be or however small. And now I'm using my miter box just to simply cut it down, and I'm going to do that to all of my pieces. And I just want to let you know that I got this concept, this idea from Heidi Samble. Her channel is here on the YouTube, and also from Chantal from Loving Life's Journey. And I love this tool. It's absolutely wonderful. Now once I've got all my pieces measured, again I'm going to cut them down, and after I have cut them down, then I will begin to use the miter box to actually give me those 45-degree angles so that we can make a nice frame. Now here I am. All the pieces are done. I've mitered my corners, and I've just put them on the placemat to be sure that it's going to fit. So now what I'm going to do with my borders, or my frame so to speak, is I'm going to simply take some brown paint that has been watered down, and I'm going to use 2 different shades because one shade is lighter than the other, and mixed together I really like the color that they are. One is a darker brown and one is a lighter brown. So what I'm doing is I'm going to take my sponge brush, and I'm simply going to use this watered down paint mixture just to give me a coating on my pieces. And what this will do is give us an actual stain effect. And I'm going to do this to all 4 pieces, and I'm going to allow them to dry. Now when using the sponge painters or sponge paint brushes, I want to know, does anybody wash their brushes out to reuse them, or do you toss them out and then just get a new one? So please let me know in the comment section if that's something that you do. So here I have done all of them, I've stained them, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of my matte Mod Podge and I'm going to mix it with the rest of the paint that I had left over. And what this is going to do is it's really going to seal in that paint. It's going to help against scratches, will prevent scratches, and it's also going to give us a really nice matte finish on the top of those borders. So if you're liking what you're seeing so far, I humbly ask that you will please subscribe to the channel. I've got a lot more content coming out, some projects that I'm sure that you'll like. Now as you can see, I'm very impatient when it comes down to the paint drying, so I just use an old blow dryer to help mine dry. Now we get down to the best part, is actually getting ready to put everything together. So what I do with my placemat is I put it down first, and I made sure that my pieces fit how they needed to fit, my border pieces. And once they have fit, I'm just outlining the entire project on the foam core board. And now after I've removed those border pieces, I'm going to center my placemat, trace it out just so I'll know exactly where it needs to be put back to be glued into place. Now what I'm going to be using to cut this out is, of course, my craft knife or a utility knife, and I like to use the technique of cutting it out with my ruler. Some people can freehand cut it, but personally I find that if I use a ruler, I get a better cut and a much cleaner cut. Look how clean those edges are. So now I'm just going to go ahead and glue this placemat down, and I'm using this Fabri-Tac glue, and I got this idea. I learned about Fabri-Tac from Linda over at Faith Chicks 77 DIYs. No, I just completely messed it up. Faith Chick 777 DIYs. She does a lot of great projects. Please go and check her out. She does a lot of farmhouse, shabby chic projects. So now I'm just simply taking my borders and I am placing them down. Again, I cannot stress enough, please be sure that you take your borders and do a test run to be sure that everything fits together. As I was placing mine were off a little bit, but as I began to think about it, I just really said to myself, you know, it doesn't matter, because the whole reason of doing this project was when I saw the sign blessed. I know that I'm blessed because I'm actually a survivor of the COVID-19. I had it, and the Lord really allowed me to come back from it. He healed me, and you know, that just reminds me of how we go through things in life, and we may be battered and torn, but we still made it through. So my project is really coming together. I'm gluing down my final piece of my border. And those white edges that you see from the foam board, don't worry about that, because we're going to hide that in just a second. Now what I'm going to do is just go ahead and trim off the excess of that foam board. I love how it's coming together. Now with this frame, if you wanted to, you could always go back and distress it or add some dry brushing techniques to it. Me personally, I don't care for the distressed look. I think I'm more of a farmhouse chic, I guess you can say, but I just don't like the distressing. But if that's what you would like to do, feel free to do so. So now I have some of this boxwood greenery that I purchased from Walmart. They were 98 cents a bunch. And I'm just going to place it at the top, because I just feel like the greenery is really going to brighten it up and wake it up. I was going to add some of those Dollar Tree flowers that you saw earlier, but I put it up to it and I said, no, I don't think I want to do that. So I'm gluing down my greenery in place. And after I have placed my greenery exactly where I want them, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start making my bow. And this technique of a bow is a combination of two of my favorite YouTubers, Crafts by Caitlin, and also Heidi, again from Heidi's Ensemble. I'm using both of their techniques put in together. So to make this bow, I have two different burlap ribbons. I have the burlap ribbon that is with the trim with the lace going down the middle of it. And this is what I'm going to use for the back of my bow. So I'm going to do my larger loops. Now you can decide on how big you want your loops to be for your bow. And once you have done so, you will cut it down and you'll fold it over, just as you saw me do. And now I'm going to use the plain burlap ribbon and I'm going to use the same technique. However, this one is going to be smaller because it's going to be in the front. So you see those coming together. And I'm going to take a piece of twine and I am actually going to bunch them together in the middle. And I'm just going to tie it off in the middle with a piece of twine. And don't forget to cut off an extra piece of the lace burlap and also the regular burlap. Because I'm going to show you what we're going to use that for. And I'm pulling this nice and tight in the middle with that twine because I really want that bunched effect. Now I will say, guys, I totally forgot to put my plain burlap ribbon in when I tied off my bow because I was so excited of how this project was coming together. But I'm going to show you how we're going to fix that. So now I'm taking my lace burlap ribbon, and I am actually folding down those edges, the side edges, and I'm gluing it in the back first, and we're going to wrap this around the middle to hide where we have tied off our bow. Now, if that's not what you like, you can always take your twine, you can always make a nice flower, just like other YouTubers have done, or you can use your twine and just make a simple bow to go in the middle, or you can place a piece of greenery, a flower, whatever. It's your design. Feel free to do so. So you see what I've done here with that extra piece for my bow tails. I actually took it and I tucked it underneath that piece that we wrapped around the middle of our bow. Now, how cute is that? Trimming off the tails, making them nice and even, and I think we have a winner of a bow, you guys. Now I'm simply going to tack it down with some hot glue right in the middle of that greenery. Oh, and I love the outcome. That's absolutely beautiful. So now with these edges, the white edges of that foam board, what we're going to do to hide that is we're actually going to use some thicker gauged of twine to go around it. And this twine is the twine that I got off of the metal galvanized buckets from the Dollar Tree. And I'm just going to take some hot glue and tack it all the way around. And once this is done, we're completely done with our project. Now to hang this, you could always just glue some twine to the back to hang it to the wall, or you can use it as a piece of decor just to stand up against your wall on a table, end table, or in your kitchen. So once that's done, here are our final results. I think it came out perfect. I love how the bow just highlights the entire project. I love how that twine on the outside just brings everything together. So you guys, I thank you so much for tuning in with me. Again, if you have not subscribed, I ask that you please do so. I have a lot of great content coming up. So in the midst of all this COVID-19 that's going on, my prayer is that everyone continue to stay blessed and stay safe. And remember that we are blessed in spite of it all. So until next time, you all be blessed. Bye-bye.